In the darkest night, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Oh, surviving together, victorious, and never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you.
Hey everyone, how you doing tonight? Excuse me. I thought I would end 2025 on a casual note here. You've landed at Surviving Together, a safe space for trauma survivors to connect and build community on their healing journey, as well as providing trauma-related education for all. Happy New Year, everyone, to all of those who are still waiting for the countdown. And to all of our people who are a little bit ahead of us in Australia and that area of the world, Happy New Year, because you guys have already made it into 2026. Crystal's here. How are you doing? I don't know. And Body's joining us. Glad to see both of you. Happy New Year. I am amazed that we are at the end of 2025. Every year that I have been in this particular home, I have stood on my balcony, looked out, and said, "Oh my gosh, it's so effing cold. I can't wait till it's summer." And then I think to myself, you know what? Before I know it, it's going to be summer and it's going to be warm, and I'm going to be sitting out here in the morning enjoying my coffee again. And then before I know it, the year's going to be over and I'm going to be doing this and saying it all over again. And I cannot believe that we are now at the point of I'm going to be doing it again tomorrow. It's amazing and it is so true. And those of you who are older, I know you can agree with this that time flies even faster the older we get. We turn around and exactly, Body, the year has just gone. And it was funny because my son, even at his young age, for the first time, really kind of he looked at me and he was just like, where did the year go? It's and part of it is because he's getting older, but part of it is he is making steps to make his life his own, right? He's moving out next month. They have a closing date. I'm going to be looking over some paperwork to deal with the house later on tonight, after this live, and he's really seeing how you need to get the most out of every day of your life because it does go by, and we can't get that time back, right? Ever. And so the big thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and hopefully the picture's a little clearer. I got my new camera set up, even though I am downstairs and not in my office. I do have my new camera that my son gave me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, dear. I love you to death for it. It is exactly what I wanted. Plugged it in and boom, there it goes. Worked perfectly with Windows 11. So I was so thankful because I would have cried if I like had to fuss with it. The older I get, the less patience I have for dealing with technology when it doesn't work in my favor. I'm not a tech guru by any stretch of the imagination. I want my tech just to work the way it's supposed to work. So, Crystal Phoenix, hi, how are you doing? Glad that you've joined us. Hey, Ben, how are you? Long time no see. You have a soundboard you haven't set up because you're lazy. See if you just like were able to go click plug, that is as much effort really as I want to put into my technology. Uh, Part of the reason I have been avoiding getting on any other social media platforms because of the time commitment involved. However, I do know that it's something that I need to do in 2026. Um, I'm going to be speaking some about, my goals for 2026, and I want to talk about goals tonight. And I want to hear, what do you guys want for 2026? Anybody out there, do you have anything specific that you're really hoping for in 2026 or that you want to be able to accomplish or move beyond? I love to love to hear how you guys are doing and what you're thinking. I of course, I've got big plans for 2026 for the channel, right? Um, Personally, I've been thinking about this a lot, particularly with my son moving out. I am kind of at a crossroads about whether or not to keep my current place or to potentially find a place with my parents. They're at that age where they really need a ranch house versus a two-story, and they could also use somebody there to help them out. So, what I do is going to be somewhat dependent on them. I would like to keep this place for a while. I'm hoping that work will stay consistent. I've reached out to a lot of different people to be able to work with professionally so that I can keep projects coming in. Because with my son moving out and having my entire basement back to myself, honestly, I would love to turn it into a taekwondo studio. I would love to put mats down and put mirrors up against one wall and have it be my private exercise space. It's got enough room where I can move around and I can do my forms. And if I get a freestanding bag, I can do exercises with that. So that's kind of in my head. And a lot of that will depend on whether or not I think that I'm going to stay here for the year. If it looks like I'm moving in with my parents anytime soon or that we're really making roads to make that happen, I won't take the investment into the mats and the mirrors unless I know that I'm going to have the space available to do that in a new home. Just doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint. But you know, with that, we'll see. But so it's kind of in the back of my mind. I've been thinking about it, batting it around. It's just so expensive to join an actual dojo, where, you know, you're looking at $100 a month and maybe you'll get 2 classes a week. And if I get back into it, I'm probably gonna catch the bug again and I'm gonna wanna work out doing it more than just that. If I had unlimited free income, being able to go and be with a group and have a master, instructor again, of course, I would love. Um, since I don't at the moment, that's my alternative. Crystal says, hoping to finish building out the board with me, with possibly me. M- Crystal, just give me a call, right? Give me a call, and we'll talk. I know that you've had some personal issues you've been working through, um, and I know other people have out there as well. And 2025 has not been great for everybody, right? It has been wonderful for me in some aspects for the channel, um, with the awards and the book that came out. Um, but personally, I've had my share of challenges, right? And I've suffered some setbacks with my mental health and things that, I've had to address with me. So, I completely sympathize with a lot of you, who have had struggles during this year. But let's send out hugs and love to everybody who needs it, everybody who's had a tough 2025, or if you're just working through something rough right now, sending you out hugs, love, prayers, good juju, whatever you need. Crystal's hoping to get a better grasp on her health and her living space. Well, you've made huge strides with that this year, I want to say, Crystal, at least from my aspect, from my viewpoint, right? You dialed in on a bunch of things. Were able to um, figure out what things weren't, right? So now, with the knowledge that you have now, being able to move forward with that, with your health, let's use what we're talking about to what I'm going to talk about tonight in terms of actually setting those goals. And I will encourage everybody to write down your goal somewhere. Even if it's not something you look at constantly, there's just something about committing it to paper that solidifies it, that makes it real, that it puts it right in front of your face and says, "This is something I want." I want it enough to be able to write it down and get specific about it. Then it's wishing for things that are in my sphere of concern, but not, I understand what you're saying, but not in your sphere of control, right? This is, I mean, totally a tough one, right, guys? And it's something that I find myself going back to the serenity prayer again and again. I wish, wishing for the ability to know the difference between what is in your control and what is not in your control, and being able to focus on those things that are in your control. And sometimes I have to sit with that thought, sit with an idea and say, what of this situation is in my control? Sometimes none of it is. Sometimes there are aspects of something that are within my control. Um, on a personal level, I'd love to have somebody involved in my life, on a romantic level. But staying in my house isn't really going to make that happen, right? So having a romantic partner just fall into my lap, or finding somebody, there's a lot of that really isn't within my control. But putting myself out there, that aspect is. So I have to determine, where's my comfort zone in trying to make that happen. Um, Online dating, I've done it on and off for a few years, and it's difficult. There's some other sites I could use. I may give it kind of one more try on some other sites that I think are better dialed into people who are actually looking to date, not just, hook up or have anything casual or friends with benefits. Um, but beyond that, then I need to be out. I need to be seen. I need to have situations where I can have that random encounter with somebody. Hopefully it's not spilling coffee on them, but people have met in weirder ways. Crystal Phoenix is wanting to get the her nonprofit fully established beyond her 501c that she always has, and congratulations for that. Um, it's something that I'm been thinking about with Surviving Together for this upcoming year about turning it into a 501c. I've thought a lot about it, and I think that regardless of our numbers, our watch hours, how many subscribers we end up getting, the monetization through YouTube is just not going to be there. And mainly it's because I'm not willing to censor myself, either the topics that we're talking about or censoring the words as I'm talking about the subjects, because that's not what I want to do here. I want to have an honest conversation with people. And I think in order to cut out, oh, we're back. Uh, Apparently my internet decided to do a little hiccup for the end of the year. Sorry about that, guys. Well, this may be how 2025 ends. We have a storm that's coming in too, so I don't know if that is something that is affecting my Wi-Fi at all. I mean, it really shouldn't, but at this point, who knows? Um, Vision boards, that's something really important to talk about as well. I don't do as well with vision boards, but I have a new system that I'm going to be doing, particularly because of all the interviews that I have scheduled that are going to be upcoming in the new year with the human trafficking series, which I've been making great strides on. I've spoken with so many people, and I may change kind of part of that into more of an overall goal vision board. We'll see. But I've got that coming next month, so mid-month. Oh, awesome. Krista says, I'd like to get a better handle on my finances. Thankfully, being in government housing, I was able to get help to pay rents in 2 installments. Perfect. I am so glad you guys are thinking about this and thinking about 2026 in terms of moving forward. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about tonight is not only how to set our goals. I mean, it's something we've talked about on and off, right? You want them to be SMART goals, and that stands for something. And we'll talk about it: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. But I think more importantly is, why should we have goals, right? What's the importance of it? And I think for those of us who have trauma effects or simply suffer from depression or anxiety or generalized lack of motivation, having goals can really help us with by having a direction and giving ourselves a purpose in our life. 'Cause I don't know about you, but when I don't have a purpose, I feel lost. And I think we all need a purpose in our life. And it's great to have an overall purpose in our life. My overall purpose, my passion is helping trauma survivors and providing trauma related education and doing the research that I do to bring these topics to you guys. But in order to get there, I have to set specific goals. And I struggle with that sometimes, like anybody else, especially for those of us who, when our emotions are unregulated, if you get stuck in freeze mode, if you find that that's kind of your default setting, I think having goals is crucial because it keeps that motivation going. When we're emotionally unregulated, we can reach into our toolbox, calm ourselves down, figure out what tool is going to work for us to allow ourselves to get in that better headspace to be able to move forward and refocus on what is important to us. And if we're not setting those specific goals, we don't have those markers, those posts that we're actually working towards. And you can kind of just be floundering through your day, floundering through your month. So, keeping us motivated and keeping us wanting to move forward is an important reason for having goals, right? Also, as we make our goals, and I've talked about this in the past, you can make your ultimate goal, but you may find you need to break that into 10 baby steps or 50 baby steps. But every time we reach one of those mini goals, we feel that sense of accomplishment. And that just increases our self esteem, increases our confidence in that, yes, I can do this. May take me a little longer than I wanted to. Maybe I have to break one of those baby steps into some other steps. Every time you pick away at it, you're that much closer to your ultimate goal. And when you do reach that ultimate goal, oh my gosh, exponential explosion of confidence. Truly. I had set doing this human trafficking series for next year as one of my goals. And I still have a bunch of work to do. I still have other interviews that I'm doing and things that I'm lining up for. But seeing how certain aspects of it are falling into place now and that it's gonna be doable. I am so excited about it. And I do feel such a sense of accomplishment that I'm able to do this and that I'm able to bring all this information forward and to have these discussions with some incredible guests that are going to be joining us next year in talking about this. That just makes me feel so good about the work that I'm doing here on the channel. And every time I come on and see you guys engaged in conversations, it just pushes me forward even more. Because this is my life's passion, I mean, what I'm truly passionate about, what I'd love to be doing full time, right? And getting paid for it so I didn't have to do law anymore. have to have those personal goals. I have to set them, and I need to get very, very specific with them because that's what's keeping me going right now. And that's what's keeping the channel going and keeping the channel funded. Hang on, guys. I'm reading. Yeah, absolutely, Ben. I mean, writing, it tells your brain that this is important. One of my key tips for studying was always write something down 3 times, say it out loud 3 times. And then I tried to explain it out loud. And that just would always solidify a concept in my brain. There's just something about that combination of verbal and writing that is, I don't know how it works with the brain wiring, but it so does. Your counselor is right, Crystal. Yeah, I mean, not everybody has to set goals right at the new year, right? We can set goals at any point during the year. And setting out your goals and listing them. And this is something that is critical for me because I have these competing things that I need to do between my professional work life and channel work life. Setting goals can really help you in prioritizing your time and also dealing with time management. I know that in order to be able to pay all my bills, I have to work full time. I also know that in order to get done what want to get done with the channel, I need to be spending 30 minutes a day or an hour every other day working on channel stuff, whether that's sending out emails for people that I want to interview or making thumbnails or just doing basic research on subjects. I have to set aside time for that. So knowing that, I have to look at my day and say, all right, in order to get 8 hours of work in and 30 minutes of channel, or if I'm doing an hour of channel, what time do I need to start my day at? Knowing that I need to take breaks during the day. I know that I am much more effective when I am not trying to, excuse me, force myself to work for 8 hours straight. I used to be able to do that. And I was hyper focused on my legal work for 8, 10 hours a day. But I didn't have this other thing that I was passionate about that I wanted to be working about. I didn't have competing thoughts in terms of things that I wanted to be doing instead of doing my daily work. And I do. I find that you know, things to do with the channel, these thoughts creep in and it's like, oh, I want to do that, or oh, I should do that, or you know, and it's harder to focus. So I know that I need to take breaks every few hours doing my regular work. And sometimes I'll sneak in an email or I'll create a thumbnail, and that helps me to be able to say, okay, I did something with the channel and I can refocus back on work. But taking that little bit of a break, I'm giving myself time to have my brain unfocus from the legal work, do something else, whether that's dishes or throwing in laundry or doing a thumbnail for the channel, and then I can recommit and focus for another solid 2 hours after a 10, 15, 20-minute break with work. And it's taken me a while this year to kind of figure out how to make these competing interests work in my life, because along with just the other things that we have to do during a day or that we just want to do during a day, finding time to do all of that can be very challenging. So this is what I found for me is working at this point. And being able to, especially with the channel, have all my goals written down, breaking them into the time that I need to accomplish it. Human trafficking series is going to be the beginning part of the year. Got two other major projects that I want to tackle during the year as well. When do I need to start doing the research for that? When do I need to start sending out interview invitations and start connecting with people in those universes to make it happen? Making that plan helps it be real for me in a way that I can digest and that I feel that I can accomplish, and to not have it just be this, "Oh, I'd like to do that sometime," right? Got 4 ideas going through my head, things that I wanna say, but I wanted to highlight this. Crystal said, "I've got 12 goals set for the year. I'll be drawing them from a hat and concentrate on that particular one each month." And then do the same and concentrate on what to do with each week. I think that that is a fantastic idea. If you've got certain things that don't necessarily have to be done by X date, and it's kind of like which one do I tackle first? Pick one. Pick one and say, this is what I'm doing for January. I think that that is an excellent idea, Crystal. I'm excited about that for you, and let me know how it goes. I'm really want to see how you make that work for you. Let's just talk briefly before I get into a few of the other reasons why I think that setting goals is so important. The SMART acronym behind it, the business world loves it. They use this for performance reviews and telling people how to set their goals for the year, or in analyzing what they've done. But first, SMART, S, specific. Your goals have to be specific. It is so difficult to know what to do, in what order, and really feel that a sense of accomplishment that you're making strides towards that goal if you don't have that goal defined. And within that definition, define those baby steps, because not all goals can just be, it's not just I do X and I've met that goal, right? They could be big things. Like, I want to get my office set up so that I am working solely in my office and doing my lives back in my office. In order to do that, there are certain things that I need to accomplish. Some I can do right away. Some I'm waiting for some stuff to be delivered, so I can't do it until that stuff gets here. Some has to do with being able to move things into the closet that is in the office, but my son is moving out, so there are I would say 90% of the stuff that is in there right now is gonna be going with him. So it doesn't make sense for me to do some organization before that time because things are gonna be shifting, right? So with that goal, I had to be very specific about all the steps that I needed to accomplish, all the things that needed to go into that. And then just flipping to the end of SMART, T, right? Time bound, having a specific time. Do I want to accomplish it in the next day, the next week, the next month? Does it need to be done by a specific date? With me in my office, I know that there are certain things that are going to happen based on when some supplies are going to get delivered, when some stuff is get moved out of the office. And that is helping me to organize what I can do, what needs to wait a little bit, and then looking at each of those mini steps and say, how long do I think this is going to take? Because I think with a lot of projects or goals, they can seem really overwhelming unless we break it down and really look at those individual steps and say, how long is this going to take? I can look at a mini step and go, okay, in order to do anything, in order to set all my stuff up on the desk and get things unpacked, I have to rewire everything that's there right now. I have to switch computer equipment around. I need to switch some stuff from one outlet to a surge protector outlet. And that means I've got to unplug everything and replug everything in. And it just seems when I look at it from this aspect, it just goes, ugh. When I sit with myself and I really look at it and go, okay, how long do I think this is going to take? An hour, two, half a day? If I can get my son to help me, does that cut down on the time that it would take? The answer is yes, by the way. And in doing that, then it makes it achievable. That's the A in SMART. Achievable. The R is for realistic. And I think these things they go hand in hand because we have to be real with ourselves as to what we think we can accomplish. But I don't want you to look at your goals and say, I don't think I can accomplish that. Therefore, it's not going to be a goal of mine. I think that there is a fine line between setting something that is seems too far out of reach versus setting something that may be just beyond our reach. And again, I think that go back to breaking our goals down into these steps because we may have a goal that we think is well beyond our reach. But in order to get even halfway there, where would I have to be? And I see this, say, when we're talking about finances, and people are like, well, I want to be making $100,000 a year. And that's just way out of my ability to even do based on where I am now. Okay, well, what about making 50,000 a year? Is that within your reach? If so, and you really and you know it, what do you need to accomplish? If not, what steps do you need to take to put yourself in a position to be able to make that happen? So we may have goals that are just out of our reach, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't reach for them because they are achievable. And even those ones that seem like they're pie in the sky, if we keep picking at it, truly believe that we can accomplish things that we thought that we really never could. Excuse me for getting my face right up there in the camera. I had to get something to drink. I don't know if I'm babbling on too much. You guys have kind of dropped off with the comments, and I don't want this to seem like a lecture, which it kind of has turned into a little bit. But I think just it was important to revisit these ideas as to why we need to set goals and how to set goals, especially as we're looking at 2026. I have consistently received the message of 1111, 12s, and in numerology, that is all about new beginnings and about keeping on the path that I'm on. That has been my 2025. I'm not sure what is up for 2026. Um, Jimena did a reading, a tarot reading for me at the beginning of the year of last year, and I'll be damned if it wasn't spot on. I can look back now and say that. So I'm thinking that she and I really need to do another one for 2026. And I'm going to keep that video and I'm going to look at it a year from now and see what's come true. That'd be a great idea for next New Year's Eve to bring to you guys. So from both a legal professional, channel professional, and personal aspect, what did it say and where did it come true? And I know it's not I look at that stuff as kind of guidance, but also with work, right? So in order to make those things happen, that may be the path that I'm on, but I need to be doing the work to keep myself moving forward on that path. Having goals for those of us who suffer again with depression, anxiety, who have a freeze response as our default, being able to accomplish those goals and feeling even the minor victories that go along with that can go a long way to reinforcing positive in our life and keeping those negative thoughts at bay. But we have to remember to celebrate our wins. Celebrate getting those baby steps completed. Shout them out to the world, right? Tell your friend, "Hey, I did this today or did that today." And it's just one little step towards my goal, but I'm that much closer. I accomplished it. And so having a support system around you and people who are going to root for you and know the importance of what you're doing and how important it is that even monumental that you've, reached that step or overcame that step. That support is can be huge. And if you don't have anyone to call, come on the live and tell us about it or email me. I'm happy to be your backseat cheerleader in whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Hey Rick, how you doing? Your goals may seem to be just out of reach. You must have short arms, so I'll just jump higher. There you go. Or you need to learn to build a step. And that's what it's about. Those mini steps and getting towards our goals. They're building that staircase one step at a time. My son wants to be my age and turn around and say, I'm financially secure. So instead of renting, instead of just buying a standard house, he decided to buy a duplex. He'll live in one half of it with his friend, and they're renting the other side out. So he's got three people who will be paying rent to him for the house expenses, including the mortgage. And when he's ready to move on from there, he can either decide to keep it as a rental property or he can sell it. It's smart. It's really smart. I mean, sharing a two-bedroom space with somebody as half a house is no different than, right, getting an apartment with somebody, just doing it in a different setup. But financially better decision. So I'm so proud of him that he is excuse me, setting these goals for himself early in life and figuring out how to get there, figuring out what is going to make the most sense. I certainly didn't have that type of self-awareness at his age. Um, had I, who knows where I'd be right now, what I'd be doing. But everything I did in life, mistakes, all my decisions, they've led me here and they led me to you guys. And I'm just so grateful that I have all of you because I know that if I have a bad day, I can come on here and you guys are going to be supportive and listen to me babble on for an hour about whatever. Let me look at my notes real quick. See if there's anything I missed that I wanted to talk about. I think that's it. I mean, I've touched on most everything. You know, for those of us who find lack of motivation, whether it's because of depression or the freeze response, having goals and having them in a notebook that is like right in front of me is really important for me to be able to accomplish tasks. Because when I'm in freeze mode, my default can be reading or YouTube scrolling. And if I have to look at that goal and say, okay, my decision is between reading for 4 hours or spending 30 minutes doing X, which is gonna get me that much closer to a goal that I set. That gives me just that little push of motivation to say, okay, I can spend the next 30 minutes doing this. Then I get a little bit of free time to do something else. Or I'm going to spend an hour doing something that maybe all we can manage. And so you have to be honest with yourself, brutally honest with yourself as to where you are. But sometimes that half an hour can turn into an hour because once you get going on something, we realize that, oh, this really isn't that big of a deal or isn't that difficult or I'm not missing doing what I originally thought about doing. I'm enjoying myself, or I'm feeling such a sense of accomplishment that I'm doing this that I'm willing to do it a little bit more. So, our goal setting can be huge in keeping us keeping our tasks prioritized and deciding what's important. Rick, this is absolutely incredible. Third week of January, I'm going to start looking for a publisher. Congratulations. That is so exciting. Speaking of published things, publisher, I wanted to mention with my book, I know I had said before I was going to be spending the last number of lives raffling off my book, and I fully intend to do that. I pushed pause on that because shipping them right now is OMG expensive. I went to the post office yesterday and just to send one of my books to North Carolina to my aunt and my uncle, it was nearly $20. And that was postal office, first class ground, the cheapest option you had. And I was like, pardon me? How much? I mean, I love them and I consider it a Christmas gift and I wanted them to get it and they wanted it ASAP. So I went ahead and did it. But for all the rest of you who are waiting on one, it's coming, but it's going to have to wait till next month until the holiday season is over when the rates go down. I was told USPS is increasing their rates next year, but it's still going to be, have to imagine, below holiday season rate. Just just insane. So, hey, Thindu, how are you doing? I'm gonna assume you're not gonna actually make it to New Year, or is this like the one day of the year that you actually drink your coffee all into the evening and make it to midnight? I personally, I don't have plans after this. Well, I need to do some things, paperwork with my son, but in terms of actually celebrating New Year's or making it to midnight, whether I see 2026 come in at midnight or whether I see it when I wake up in the morning, it's coming. So I, yeah, I don't miss that celebration very much. Um, if I had a particular group of friends that were having a get together or something like that, yeah, I'd probably go. Um, but definitely not as important to me as it was when I was younger. I don't know, maybe that's just old me talking. Um, Thing just says I'll be finished by 9. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm gonna do the things with my son. I've got a few more emails that I need to send out tonight for some channel work, and I'm probably gonna read a little bit and then hit the bed. Even though it's New Year's tomorrow, I do have work I need to do. I have an interview at noon that I'm doing for um, the channel, somebody with human trafficking that I'm connecting with. And so life moves on. Hey, Tommy, snacking and relaxing. That's great. I think it's wise to stay in. My son is at that age where he still likes doing these celebrations with his friends, and we not only have snowstorms, but of course, after midnight, it just becomes exponentially more dangerous on the roads, and I am worrying about him um, bouncing between friends' houses tonight. So I probably going to sleep and being in bed will I'll have a lot less anxiety just because I'll just be asleep. Uh, so unless my phone rings, then I know something's happened and I need to go. So if I'm able to sleep till morning, I know that everything's good. Otherwise, I know I'd just be biting my nails and probably calling my son every hour to make sure he's okay, which is the last thing. Rick says, I've heard it's cheaper now to go to UPS or Purolator. I have never heard of Purolator. I go to Pack Mail, which is a place, by me, and they can ship FedEx, UPS, US Postal Service. And so they look at it all and give me the cheapest, tell me who's the cheapest. Um, and I asked him when I was there, I'm like, "Well, do you have like a surcharge that I'm paying because I'm here and you're offering me all those services?" And they're like, no, the prices would be the same as if you went directly to the post office or went directly to UPS. And so unless I actually went there and compared prices, I don't have any reason to doubt them. So that's what I'm doing. Hey, DeAudrey Gore, it's 7 5. It's 2026 in Ireland, is it not? Happy New Year, DeAudrey. Hey, Judge, how are you? Good to see you. I think out of our crew, DeAudrey Gore is the first one right now to ring in 2026. Although I do know we have our Australia people. Don Miku stops in occasionally. We've got Cosmic Christie. Christie is over there. Uh, um, and a couple other people who are generally just in replay. It will be in 2 minutes. Oh, okay. So you're exactly 5. So I'll stick around for a second. Let's count down the new year with DeAudrey. How awesome. Okay, Crystal says Perlator is a Canadian company. Yeah, I don't think that we have that around here. I don't know that they've made it into the US, or at least if they have, they're not around where I am. Excuse me, guys, I need another drink. I'm just getting dry mouth today. New Year's in Italy already. How did you watch it, Tommy? How did you watch it in Italy? Was it a YouTube channel or was something on the TV? Or, yeah, I have no idea what just happened, guys. Uh, Octavia Grace, who is somebody who goes to Tommy's live often. I know that she is in Italy. And so, Happy New Year to her and to anybody else who is in that side of the world. Oh, you have a channel on cable service that you add that's from Italy. That's so interesting. Tommy got connections. Yes. The Audrey says, not doing much, just eating a fruit mince pie, a Christmas staple. I've never heard of a fruit mince pie. I've heard of mincemeat pie, and I've had one of those before. Yes, it's 7 o'clock here, so now it is 2026 in Ireland. All right, guys, let's wish Happy New Year to Audrey Gore, and it's coming up for the rest of us. It's going to be creeping across the Atlantic, guys. So I think on that note, I'm going to let you go. I hear my son calling. I promised I would look at some house documents for him before he left to go celebrate with his friends and his girlfriend, celebrate 2020, celebrate the new year. So let me get on that. But I am excited about this coming year. I wish the best for all of you. I know it has been tough for a lot of people, a lot of funerals, guys, a lot of funerals for so many. And just here's wishing to a good 2026. I'm so excited that I got to start it out with you guys. Um, It's my son's stepsister, or half sister. It's her birthday today, so I'm gonna send out a shout out to Amber Dombrowski, happy birthday, and to my best friend from childhood, Jennifer Riley, Niff, love you to death. Happy birthday. It's her birthday as well. And yes, 2026, no funerals, please. Let's just have a lot of births, marriages, goal accomplishments. Let's have all those celebrations. So if you're watching on replay, throw out in the comments either Happy New Year or tell me what's your goal for 2026 or what one of them. What do you hope for? What do you wish for? Is there something specific that you're trying to do? Love to hear from you guys. If you haven't, hit the like button before you leave. If you're not subscribed, you'll get our notifications. We've got our human trafficking series coming next year. Saturday will be live next at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's the first Saturday of the month, so it will be last Saturday, guys. Don't know who's going to be joining me, and I haven't exactly decided on a topic. So if you've got something for last Saturday, specific topic in mind, let me know. The next live after that is going to be January 7th, and that is going to be an interview with a person named Tammy Renee. She was raised in a cult, had a very traumatic childhood because of her parents, because of the cult. And so we're going to listen to her story as to her backstory and then her healing journey and where she is now. She's written a book. I think she's writing a second book. Really an amazing person. And so I hope you can all join me for that on next Wednesday. That'll be a week from today at 6 p.m. Eastern. So with that, guys, remember, you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are loved just the way you are for who you are. So hugs and love for me. Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to 2026 for all of those who are watching on replay on January 1st or after. And I will see you on Saturday for Laugh Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, guys. Surviving together, never alone. Bye.
Through the fire, through the rain. walked through endless pain, but we stand, we rise again, stronger now, we break the chain, surviving together, hearts open wide, lifting each other through every tide. The past may have shaped us, but it won't define. Together we heal, together we shine. Every tear, every scar tells the story of who we are. Not just survive